Hey, welcome back to PDP Garage, everybody. Today I'm working on my Blazer quarter panel. I am going to show you how I've been going through the process of removing high spots and low spots. On today's video is I'm just going to take out one of the low spots with a tool I found on Amazon. Kind of cool, you wouldn't expect it, but it kind of makes sense after you think about it. So here we go. Today I've got this section here fairly well smoothed out. I think I can feel a low spot somewhere in here. So the first step that I've been following is just figuring out where the low spot is. And that means marking it with a pen. And I've got a little process for doing that. All right, so the first step here is just marking where it's at. And I think I can feel it right around here. So all I do is I lay my straight edge across and I can see where there's a gap in here. And so I'm going to mark along the ruler the gap. The little dent starts there. It's about a 1/16 of an inch thick. It starts here and goes to there, and I'm going to move the ruler down a little bit, and I can see the gap shifted a little bit. It's there, and here it's just like it's almost going away there. So then I'll go back up and I see another spot there and a spot there and maybe there. All right, so let me show you what that looks like on the fender. So there's my lines that I marked, and so my low spot kind of follows that little weird shape. And so I've got a big Sharpie, and I am going to... All right, so now that we got that marked, let me show you the tools I got to use. So these are a set of bars, or I don't know what they call them, for paintless dent removal, PDR. And the bars come with they come with a threaded hole on the end, and they sell a bunch of little fittings that come with it that are different diameters. This one's a little bit round, but it's got a point on it, and there's a whole bag of them for different things. You got really pointy ones, a little ball or a sphere, kind of some different stuff. They also come with some plastic ones. These are garbage. I broke one the very first 5 minutes of using the tool. So the problem is if you put any kind of side load on these, the little plastic will just break right off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this bar under there at an angle, and I'm gonna be under there, and I'm gonna twist it with this handle, and it's gonna apply pressure to the back side of that marked area. So let's try. And this is kind of nice in that I can't really get a dolly up there with much force. I mean, I can get it up there, but I can't hold it against the back of the panel very well. And so I can look kind of right at a glancing angle and get kind of some reflections off this shiny new ink, and I can push this bar and I can see it create a little tiny dent or a little spot where it's pressing, and then I can move it ever so slightly again. And I'm a little too far down. I'm going to go down here. And so I'm creating tiny little, they're not high spots yet, but they're just crowning the surface just a tiny bit right there. And so what I can do, there we go. And it's nice in that I only have to move this panel, it's a 1/16 of an inch low, maybe. It's a little less than that. But the fact that I've got all this area kind of cushioning all the force with that little tiny steel ball, it smooths it out a little bit. It's not as sharp as a dent as it would be on, say, a much more modern car with much thinner sheet metal. So let's go ahead and measure it now. Up here we're pretty good, up near the top of the dent. And you can see it kind of opens up near the number. Let's put it right where the number 20 inch on there. You can kind of see it there. It's a little bit low there, and it gets even a little lower. So probably near the bottom end of my marked black area, which is where I want to focus some of my pressure there. So that's where I'm going to go for next. One thing you do have to be careful is what's on the other side of the panel, because I'm kind of sandwiched in between two pieces of sheet metal. So whatever your pressure you're applying to outside, the cosmetic side, is also being pressed on the inside. Luckily, that's just a truck bed and it's got bed liner, and I think it's even I don't know if it's a thicker sheet metal, but it looked like it's kind of got some reinforcement in there, so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm gonna keep pressure on it a little bit, and I am gonna, so I can see I'm a little farther over than I need to be. Too low. Yeah, it doesn't look like I touched much of it. I'm levering. I don't know if you can't tell in the video, but I'm really leveraging this bar a lot. The fender's really moving, and so it's got a lot of force on there. Well, it did move some. I got a high spot, but this is much flatter in here, and I can definitely feel it's high, low, and high kind of right across there. Almost need a camera right here so you can see what I'm seeing. Might have to look into that. And dropping tools again. Yeah, so right now I've got a high spot there where it's flush, and I know I've got something high here, so this is really a low spot, and I'm even a little bit low in here and off to that side. Made a little progress, but not much. Actually, that's not true. It's this quarter up here and down in here. There we go. Almost now I got a little bit of a, you can see it, but a little bit of a rock here. But we can fix that with a shrinking disc. I just want to get the low spot out. And so I've got just this one little spot on the bottom there. Apply some pressure. Right now I'm kind of hitting off dolly, if you consider this a dolly. I've got my pressure point here. I'm trying to kind of apply some glancing blows to not, just to spread the force. I just need a little bit of force to get this to come up. I don't need a whole lot. And so I think we may need more ink, but let's see where it is here. Definitely got a high spot almost everywhere. So we're gonna get some ink over that, and then we're gonna hit it with the shrinking disc and then see where we're at. Switching to Milwaukee safety glasses. I guess with my hat, maybe is not considered cool, but we'll see. All right. All right, so now it's really easy to see where the highs and the lows are. Everything that's polished off is high, or at least properly flush, and so it's hot. So it's actually crowning out a little bit. So let's wait for it to cool, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, so this is looking much better. My low spot is definitely out, and I am pretty Pretty smooth, but I just got a little bit of a high spot, so I'm going to hit it with the shrinking disc one more time. It's looking pretty good. Except right out near the tip, near number, well, the 0-inch mark. I think my panel is still a little bit warped across here, but across that dent is no longer a low spot. So that is pretty good. I think what I need to do is hit it with the shrinking disc one more time and kind of focus on this area here where I haven't been, you know, my ink is still not abraded away. And so I'm gonna give it one more chance here, clean it all up, and then see if I can measure it again without all the black ink there kind of tricking me. Okay, so one problem is I don't know where the marks were. So I'm just gonna take a quick look around what's on here, and it looks pretty good. I still see a very faint low spot right. Let's see if I can get right there. You can actually see it right around the number between 2 and 3 inches. You can kind of see it right there. So yeah, I'm gonna remark. Oh, well, it's because I'm running into my fender bead there, so I'm gonna have to stay away from that. Still see something right around there if you look. It's real subtle, and then it goes away there. So right there, and let's see, right. Yeah, we're done there, and you can kind of see the gap open up right there. Right there. And that might be good. So right, well, we're pretty good there. So that is our new target area. It's just a tiny bit low, so let's take care of that. Better, but not good enough yet. I'm really torquing on this thing again. I tell you, when at this stage, I'd really like to get one of those paintless dent removal. They got these special, well, they have lights, and then I can print out some. I think what I want to do for the next, probably for the next video, is get one of those piece of paper with black and white lines printed on it, and then you can kind of get it at an angle where you can see the lines in the reflection of the panel. And you can kind of see where the lines dip and move around, and so you can tell where you're pressing on the back and also where it's not quite straight. So there's a bunch of YouTube videos if you want to check those out. They're kind of fun to watch, and it's amazing what those guys can do with paintless dent repair, not even removing the paint. And so I feel like I'm cheating a little bit, but the tools are pretty handy for getting up there and putting some leverage on the back of the panel. So that's what this video is about. Let's see. Actually, you can see where I got my... So that is where my tool was, since it's obviously been pushing up here, but not there. So I'm going to try and move it over here. Not a lot of paint scraping off there, although I can feel it. Oh, I think I was a little too far over. I need to come in more. See if I can get some real good leverage with my knee there. I am always dropping tools in these videos. So you can see I've got a lot more steel out here now. So I think I was actually hammering on dolly there, and I think to stretch the metal a little bit, and I'm kind of hoping that would allow it to pop out at the same time. It's there. Definitely got a high spot that has come up right around 1.25 inches there, but it's pretty good over there if I kind of rock it. So I think maybe with the shrinking disc I might be able to take care of that. So, all right, let's try my ruler, or straight edge mounted ruler. This is my window of where I've been working on, and I think we're pretty good there. Although I see a tiny, there's a just general low spot all across this line here. So but that's pretty good. Oop, there's a very subtle thing right around 2.25 inches. And then it goes away, and then it comes back, and then it's all gone. It's pretty flush. That's pretty good. Much better than it was before. I might be happy with it, depending on. Oh yeah, okay. So you gotta remember not to get too close to this body line there. So that's pretty good. There's nothing. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm not sure, but there might be a slight hair of a low spot there, but it's so much smaller than everything else on the fender. I think we're pretty good. So yeah, so that is how I've been taking out low spots all across this whole fender. There's a few more that I've been working on. What I'm going to be working on next, for sure, is that, let's see if I can show you, is this section is where this body panel was welded in before, and if I put a light behind it, I've been working on it, and I don't know if you'll be able to see. But oh yeah, you can see right about, where'd it go? Right here where my thumb is, you can see light shining through. And so I've been hammering and grinding, and it's just not, because obviously I burned through the metal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out and weld in a new section there instead of trying to save the old sheet metal repair. That's it for now. Stay tuned for the next one.